What does it take to reinvent a legend? Imagine a world where the roar of combustion engines is replaced by an electrifying silence, but the thrill behind the wheel is more intense than ever. After nearly 50 years, Volkswagen is betting their most beloved badge on a radical transformation, the all-electric Golf GTI. But can the company recapture that original magic, or is this the ultimate gamble in automotive history? Let's rewind the clock to 1976. The world hadn't seen anything quite like the original Volkswagen Golf GTI. Born out of a rebellious backroom project, it wasn't a supercar but a compact, unassuming hatchback with just 110 horsepower. Yet that little car changed the world. It democratized speed, making spirited driving available for anyone with a modest budget and a taste for adrenaline. Suddenly, family guys, students, and professional commuters alike could own a car that was just as comfortable on the school run as it was on a twisty mountain pass. And over 8 generations, the GTI has done more than just survive. It's become a cultural touchstone, blending cutting-edge tech, from turbocharged engines to adaptive suspensions, with an unmistakable personality, sharp handling, punchy power, red-striped grills, tartan seats, and that cheeky, restless spirit. The first one is the most exciting because it came out of nowhere and was a total game-changer, admits current VW CEO Thomas Schaefer. Ask any GTI owner, they'll likely agree. The badge stands for more than performance. It's a promise of fun, accessibility, and engineering honesty. But today, the world is shifting at full throttle. Internal combustion engines are falling out of favor. Regulations are tightening. Oil prices, climate change, and urban air quality are reshaping how we move. The question is no longer if the world will go electric, it's when and how fast. For Volkswagen, the company at the very heart of Europe's automotive landscape, this is more than a business opportunity. It's a race for survival. Enter the electric Golf GTI, a car that, if done right, could bridge 2 eras. But the stakes are enormous. The GTI isn't just another model, it's the crown jewel of the Volkswagen lineup. Get it wrong, and not only do you alienate loyal fans, you risk undermining the brand's entire identity. Get it right, and you could define what a performance car means for an entirely new generation. Volkswagen isn't starting from scratch. The company already has a growing electric portfolio, notably the ID series, but the GTI is sacred ground. According to internal sources and recent statements by Thomas Schaefer, development is well underway. Digital work has been ongoing, with the new GTI set to debut after the current generation bows out at the end of this decade. And this isn't just about slapping a battery pack into a familiar shell. The electric GTI will be built on VW's all-new SSP architecture, a modular platform poised to underpin not just VWs but everything from Skoda to Bentley to Lamborghini. It's going to be really scalable, Schaefer told Auto Express. With shared hardware and software modules, the SSP is designed to drive down manufacturing costs through sheer volume. Think of it as the Lego set from which the next era of mobility is being built. For the Golf GTI, that means the freedom to innovate without walking away from what made the original special: lively handling, punchy acceleration, and enough everyday usability that you could take it to work or on a weekend escape. But is it even possible to make an electric car as emotionally engaging as its petrol-powered ancestors? Skepticism runs deep among automotive purists. The growl of an engine, the mechanical feedback, even the ritual of shifting gears, these are touchstones of the driving experience. Can electrifying become more than just a marketing slogan? Schaefer is adamant. It's cool, you can make it exciting, it has to be authentic, it has to be a true GTI. He's personally driven prototypes, describing them as mind-blowing. And while he won't reveal many details, he hints at next-level torque vectoring, razor-sharp responses, and a driving feel that's closer to a go-kart than any other mainstream EV. Will it have simulated gear shifts, electronic soundtracks, drift modes, like Hyundai's Ioniq 5N? Schaefer won't say, but the team is studying the competition closely. One thing is certain, the electric Golf GTI will not simply mimic its petrol predecessor. It's targeting over 300 horsepower, up from the original's humble 110. The new platform promises not just speed in a straight line, but the sort of nimbleness that has long been the GTI's trademark. In a sense, the challenge is less about outgunning rivals on a spec sheet, and more about capturing the elusive X factor, the grins per mile quotient. Yet even the fastest, most agile EV faces obstacles that didn't exist in the GTI's original golden age. Ask anyone shopping for an electric car today about their biggest concerns, and you'll hear 2 words: range anxiety. While battery technology is improving rapidly, the fear of being stranded far from a charger is real. Consumer Reports list this as the #1 barrier for mainstream EV adoption. The SSP platform, according to VW engineers, will be 800-volt ready, meaning ultra-rapid charging, potentially slashing refill times to just minutes. Significantly faster charging times will be a game-changer, promises Chief Engineer Matthias Erb. But speed alone won't cut it if the infrastructure isn't there. In many parts of the world, public chargers remain unreliable or simply too scarce. The headaches of queuing, broken stations, or confusing payment systems are enough to turn off even the most committed early adopters. Traditional car buyers still need a lot of convincing, says a recent J.D. Power survey. It's not just about the car, it's about the entire ecosystem. For the new GTI to succeed, Volkswagen will have to orchestrate solutions that reach far beyond the engineering labs. And then there's the question of cost. The Golf GTI has always been a performance bargain, but batteries remain the most expensive component in any EV. Automotive News Europe notes that the SSP platform's massive scale could drive prices down, but that's still a hope, not a guarantee. If the new GTI ends up out of reach for its traditional buyers, Volkswagen risks losing the very audience that made it famous. Rivals aren't standing still either. The electric hot hatch space is heating up. Hyundai's Ioniq 5N has already wowed critics with its digital trickery and raw power. Tesla's Model 3, performance continues to set the bar for affordable speed. Chinese upstarts are flooding the market with aggressively priced alternatives. If Volkswagen wants to stand out, it will have to deliver more than nostalgia. It needs to ignite genuine desire. At the core of all these challenges lies a single burning question. Is it even possible to reconcile the soul of the GTI with the demands of the electric age? Nostalgia is a powerful drug, but so is the lure of the future. Sandy Munro, a noted automotive manufacturing expert, puts it bluntly: Volkswagen's EV transition isn't just about adapting, it's about long-term survival. Let's not forget, the original GTI was itself a heretic, rewriting the rules of what a family car could do. It earned a following because it dared to be different, practical, affordable, and riotously fun. Maybe, just maybe, that disruptive DNA can live on in a battery-powered world. But how do you create an EV that doesn't just accelerate quickly but makes your pulse race at every turn? Can you really engineer authenticity? Inside Volkswagen's design labs, digital prototypes are coming to life. Engineers are debating everything from sound design to regenerative braking profiles. Should the GTI make noise or lean into serene silence? Do drivers want a digital soundtrack, or is that just a gimmick? And how far can you push performance before the car loses its everyday usability? As Thomas Schaefer puts it, when we started this journey, we told the development teams, we've got to be proud of the GTI of the future, and the team's taking that on. Will that pride translate into a car that's worthy of the badge? Or will the electric GTI be little more than a badge-engineered shadow of its former self? As the prototypes are tested in secret and the digital sketches turn to clay models, the world waits. Can Volkswagen truly deliver a Golf GTI for the electric generation, one that stays true to its roots while electrifying the segment? And perhaps the most important question of all, is the world ready to fall in love with a legend, reborn in silence? So, let's fast forward. The year is 2026, and the very first all-electric Volkswagen Golf GTI rolls onto the world stage. For the first time in over 5 decades, the legendary badge glows silently, promising a radically new driving experience. But what does this future really hold? What might the consequences be, both for Volkswagen and the car world at large, when such an icon takes the electric leap? One scenario is dazzling success. With the highly anticipated SSP platform, Volkswagen could finally have its magic bullet, a modular, scalable system that brings costs down and performance up. Automotive News Europe reports that the SSP could slice production expenses, allowing VW to compete not just with legacy rivals, but with nimble EV disruptors from China, Korea, and California. Imagine a Golf GTI that's as affordable and as thrilling as it is eco-friendly. Instant torque, gasp-inducing acceleration, and charging so fast it blurs the limits of what we expect from an everyday hatchback. Industry expert Sandy Munro has put it bluntly, VW's shift to EVs is do or die. If they don't get this right, there's no future. That's not just a bold assertion, it's a challenge that Volkswagen's engineers and designers have pinned to their walls since the project began. For them, the GTI isn't just another car, it's the soul of Volkswagen, a rolling archive of speed, accessibility, and emotional resonance. If they succeed, the all-electric GTI could become the new benchmark, outpacing even the beloved petrol models that came before. But there are warning lights on this digital dashboard. Range anxiety, charging infrastructure, and price remain towering obstacles. According to Consumer Reports, most car buyers still worry that current EVs just can't match the all-purpose freedom of combustion cars. And the charging network, even in Europe's most EV-friendly cities, remains patchy at best. Matthias Erb, one of the masterminds behind VW's next-gen platforms, is betting on the new 800-volt architecture. It promises, in theory, a mind-blowing recharge, from nearly empty to 80% in under 20 minutes. That could be the killer app, the feature that turns road trips from frantic route planning marathons to the kind of spontaneous adventure the GTI was born to enable. But will it be enough? There's another risk, and it's both intangible and immense: the heart. A Golf GTI isn't just a numbers game. Since 1976, it's been a symbol, a car that anyone could aspire to, that turned mundane commutes into backroad thrill rides. Decades of passionate owners have forged almost personal bonds with the GTI nameplate, the fizz of a turbo spool, the snick of a manual gearbox, the way the steering talked back on a wet corner. Will electrons and silent hums ever stir the soul in quite the same way? Volkswagen's answer is a bold one: fuse tradition with reinvention. CEO Thomas Schaefer is adamant. It has to be exciting, it has to be authentic, it has to be a true GTI. Every step, from digital design reviews to hot laps and camouflaged prototypes, aims to capture that magic. But authenticity doesn't just happen. It's engineered into every line, every kilogram, every line of code. Here's an intriguing twist. While the new GTI will be front-wheel drive, echoing its forebears, its stablemate, the electric Golf R, will go all-wheel drive, unleashing entirely new performance possibilities. Gone is the old-fashioned horsepower war. In its place, a new battle. Torque precision, software-driven traction, and handling wizardry only EVs can offer. And this opens a door to something extraordinary. Electric performance is a blank canvas for playfulness. Simulated gear shifts, customizable drive sounds, even digital drift modes. No, it's not mechanical purity, but it's a kind of fun that was impossible in the analog era. What if you could tune your GTI's character from your phone, loud, subtle, raucous, or refined, matching your mood or the track ahead? That's a vision no other GTI could offer. But let's not sugarcoat it. Success is not guaranteed. The competitive landscape is ruthless. Hyundai's Ioniq 5N, Tesla's Model 3 Performance, and a surge of Chinese brands are all gunning for this same slice of the automotive dream. Each brings unique strengths, value, raw speed, futuristic tech. For Volkswagen, the GTI's legacy is both a magic wand and a tightrope. If they dare too little, they're accused of selling out. If they push too far, loyalists might walk away entirely. So what does this drama mean for you, the car enthusiast, the would-be buyer, or simply someone fascinated by the next chapter of mobility? First, it's a lesson in evolution. The story of the GTI is proof that icons don't stand still. In 1976, the GTI did the unthinkable. It brought performance to the people. With each era, it's been redefined, not by ignoring the past, but by distilling its essence. This electric chapter is merely the next bold page. If you are wondering whether to embrace an electric hot hatch, remember, every automotive revolution faced doubters. The first GTI was mocked by the establishment. Now, it's hallowed ground. Second, it's an opportunity, maybe even a responsibility, to shape what comes next. VW is listening, perhaps more than ever. Public reactions, early reviews, grassroots buzz, all of it will influence final specs, pricing, features. If you're passionate about cars, your input is more valuable and louder than in any past decade. It's also a wake-up call for those still on the fence about electric vehicles. The new GTI represents a leap not just in power, but in user experience. Imagine never visiting a gas station, waking up to a full tank each morning, and discovering a car that gets smarter with every software update. The learning curve is real, but so are the rewards. As EVs blend performance, efficiency, and sustainability, the joy of driving might just become compatible with a cleaner planet. And let's be clear, the EV shift is not just for the green crowd. The original GTI was all about democratization, performance for the masses, not the elite. The electric GTI aims to do the same, taking the latest tech and wrapping it in a package that's fun, fast, and, eventually, affordable. If VW gets it right, a new generation of drivers will make their first memories in a GTI with no tailpipe and no compromises on soul. So, what's the bottom line? Can Volkswagen really balance tradition and innovation to build an electric GTI worthy of its legendary badge? Our answer? The potential is enormous, but the proof will be on the road. Early prototype reviews, from insiders lucky enough to drive camouflage test cars, hint at something special. Thomas Schaefer himself, after a session behind the wheel, called it mind-blowing. But the final verdict will be written not by executives in Wolfsburg, but by ordinary drivers, enthusiasts, and critics the world over. There's a secret, too, that few outside Volkswagen's skunkworks know. Buried in the software code is a hidden heritage mode. One tap on the central screen, and the digital display transforms, emulating the dials, colors, and startup chime of the original 1976 Mk1 GTI. It's a subtle nod for the true believers, proof that even as the GTI surges into the future, it never forgets the past. And that perhaps is the real lesson. Legacy is not about static nostalgia, but about daring reinvention. Whether the electric GTI will become the new standard or simply a fascinating footnote, it's the bravest gamble VW has made in decades. The outcome isn't yet written, and frankly, that's what makes this race so exhilarating. Now, over to you. Would you jump into the driver's seat of an electric GTI? Are you ready for the next chapter, or do you think some legends should stay analog forever? Let's keep the debate alive in the comments, because as always, the story of the GTI is written not just by its creators, but by its fans. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the future of a motoring legend, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And if you want more insider stories, the secret modes, the untold prototypes, the moments that shaped car